Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Just want to do a quick market report of the comic book state of the market today. We're looking at specifically comic books that are key books, books that have recently caught some heat, whether because of X-Men 97, for example, or for the new trailer that came out a couple weeks ago, or maybe just a week ago. I can't remember. Or just overall, just sentiment for people looking for deals for that key book that you've been looking for a very long time. Just gonna kind of take a current, kind of look at the market and what current prices are selling for. That's the best barometer that we have to determine what the value is of a comic book. Obviously, when it comes to any type of asset class, you have to look at comps, comparables. So without further ado, real quick, I just want to thank everyone. We're almost at 620 subscribers. The more subscribers we get, the more hours that people watch our show, the more content I will create and the more giveaways I will do going forward. Wanted to, just again, thank everyone for liking the show, liking the stuff that we do. But if you do like this video, please like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and we'll keep doing what we do for you all. So let's get into it real quick. Again, I just want to thank everyone for coming through and hope you guys enjoy the show today. So yeah, I was looking at, a couple of lists here, whether that be key collector, just your regular, type of show that seems like everyone does a market show, myself included. And, it's always nice to look at what everyone else is kind of looking at. It's also nice to look at stuff that people have looked at in the past and maybe aren't looking at it very much lately and to see where it currently is selling for. I'm going to do some links with eBay, after I go through each book to see if where the market is for each book and to see if that's a good deal for people that are trying to find that specific book and just need to have it currently today. This isn't I recommending me to buy these books. I never really do that. It's just, hey, I saw this book. This is what it's selling for. Let's take a look. And if you want to buy it, go for it. So hope you guys enjoy this show. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book, it's a fairly new book. Obviously, it hasn't even hit 6 months yet, but Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This was the book that's kicked off 2024 for sure. I had probably 2 of the 3 covers. I flipped one of them. It's a really great read. I mean, I think it hit the balance of a good read. Spider-Man's the marquee character for Marvel for sure. Ultimate line being restarted. Jonathan Hickman's a great writer. The art's pretty good. I think Bagley does the art on this. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there. But yeah, I remember this came out of the gate, $50, in a couple weeks or so. I was dumbfounded. Every time this market just surprises me, and it's surprised me to the upside of what people are buying. No hate, you can spend your money however you want to spend your money. But I just was not, I wasn't very faithful in the rise in this comic book. But like I said, $50 out the gate. I was happy with that sale. I remember seeing 9.8s go for $200 to $350, which I just thought was just very fascinating to me. There's not real, there's an introduction to the kids. That's the cover I got, but really nothing new as opposed to anything significant like MCU news. I think it was just a great book that people just kind of didn't expect to. But let's take a look at what the market says. So obviously I was looking at Zelda stuff here. Ultimate Spider-Man #1 from 2024. So listings are pretty, and the book has been reprinted, ad nauseum. So yeah, this is the A cover that everyone's been kind of going for. I feel like other people are going for the second print to maybe buy 50 copies of it. I was not doing that. There's a free comic book day 1 coming up, which is funny because it's selling for $345. The Venom cover though was the one that I think a lot of people really gravitate towards. I opted for this one, and shoot, I may buy back that for it's still too high for me. 9.8 going for $1. Good luck sequential art there. But I can't find it. I'm not going to spend too much time with this book, but let's see what the market is showing here. So yeah, $50 best offer. There's the one I was talking about, the Ultimate Spider-Man #1. The Venom variant, I think that's the one to get, honestly, if you're long term quote unquote investing in this book. Yeah, 141. I mean, that's solid. There's probably a ton of 9.8s in that particular cover. This one's pretty cool too. The Spider-Man 2099. And yeah, this is the one I had. I don't remember if I gave this away or if I sold it, but 14 and a quarter. I'm not mad at that. Like, if you missed out on that particular cover, and you really wanted it, I think that's a fair deal for a newer book that came out this year. But it's still really healthy. Holy cow! So $80 for, I guess that cover A is the one to get. So $80 for on 23 bids. Man, that is nuts. This is actually a pretty cool one, the J. Scott Campbell Virgin variant. I remember seeing this on the website, I want to say. That's a great return, man. If you bought on the website, 1 in 500. Yeah, and just kind of going through, like, yeah, obviously the second print kind of like flip is no longer. I remember, this reminds me of one of my auctions. Yeah, $29 for that one. The pair here for going for 290. So it's healthy. It's a healthy market for this book, regardless if you're going to hate on it or not, and that's present company included. I just didn't expect it to go for this much. I think one of the other reasons too is, with people kind of trying to save money and not trying to have a million comic books in their stack. What is like $6.99, $7.99 cover price? So that probably deterred a lot of people from buying this book. And then when word got out, this was such a great read, brought people back into the market. But nonetheless, if you are looking for Ultimate Spider-Man #1, you're gonna have to pay a pretty good penny for a book that just came out less than 6 months ago. But alas, everyone else is still paying that as of yesterday. I like to do this market report on every Monday because a lot of auctions end on Sunday. So it's good to see like the updated market reports. I only do 10 of these books at a time just to not be boring or whatever. But let's go into the next one. So eventually, #1, I think everyone knows that this got optioned by Margot Robbie's production company. I remember buying this book off the rack for like $3.99 in Chromium. If anything's never gonna come back, I hope Chromium comes back. But yeah, I don't know if this is like a tough high grade. I got a copy for $5 just for fun. I don't really remember the book, to be honest. From my childhood, but I know this is like pretty big during that femme fatale movement with She, Witchblade, Dawn, Lady Death, name a few. It was a pretty big movement back then in the mid 90s, but I'm seeing 20 $25 listings for this. But I'll stop talking. Why don't we take a look at where the market is for this book? So eventually, #1. And I don't know if it's like, if you find this now, do you sell it? I guess if you got it for $1, then yeah, I'm selling it. I didn't spell that correctly. Okay, so here's a swimsuit edition. Wow, I guess everyone's trying to sell this book. Oh, there's a photo variant. So yeah, $1 bid, 99 cents. 10 bids for $9. That's not bad. I don't think there's a ton of graded books of this. Wow, this is the foil edition, Chromium edition, I guess. I mean, it's the same one. Must be one off. So these were sales from last week. I mean, $22.50 for first print Chromium. I forgot there was a half version from Wizard. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't see any CGC ones. You got the photo variant of that one, and I forgot what the story is about this book, to be honest. But that'd be kind of cool if Warring Nun. Warring Nun was a very underrated show. If you guys haven't seen Warring Nun, like, go watch it. It's so good. Let's see if there's any CGC books out there. Okay, so CGC one went for $76 a couple weeks ago. So that was kind of around when the news came out. $153.50. April 7th. Oh, it's a 9.6, so that's probably why. We'll keep going. Nothing. April 5th. This is probably before. I can't remember when the news came out. $59.99. $135.99. So it looks like a lot of these sold during the first week of April, and it's come down quite a bit. I think there's going to be a lull of just news. Obviously, like, I wonder the option. I mean, the announcements for options is like, it's still kind of prevalent, I guess, because people just aren't as sophisticated as they used to be. or they don't really know how to take into account like if that's going to work. But I don't know. I'm not mad at anyone that buys this book for 76 bucks and a 9.8. However, you're probably gonna have to wait quite a bit because I didn't even know Margot Robbie had a production company. But just thinking about that, how long is it going to take for her to get that going and um, get a character or get an actress to play Evangeline? What's the story going to be like? There's a lot of factors in that. So, if you can snag this in a dollar bin, like I'd say try, at least look. But I'm not trying to pay 20, 15 bucks for this chromium cover that's probably been sitting in a long box for 25 years. So, anyway, Uncanny X-Men 239. This book, I don't know if it's got a bump, quote unquote, since X-Men 97 came out, but it's one of my personal favorites. I had this in a 9.4 signed by Chris Claremont, but I sold it just because I just need to clear out some space. But last time I looked for this book, 98s were going for 199 bucks, which I'm not mad at. Mr. Sinister is probably my favorite character ever, but I think if you're specking on Mr. Sinister, like I like this just because the cover's so much better than his actual first appearance. But yeah, let's take a look. Let's see here. All right, we're gonna go Uncanny X-Men 239. Okay, I'm not mad at that. 239. Set one for 102.50. 9.2s are you're gonna get a bargain for that. 18.50. Depending on the grade on that, that's a pretty good deal. Find 6. I think it's a really good deal. It's a newsstand variant, so newsstand quote unquote. So that's pretty good. I hope this is a 9.8 to scale. That's a tough one. So 9.8, yeah, like I said, they're still going for around that price point. There's a newsstand that went for 8.5. I would get this signed by Silvestri versus Claremont. 9.6, I'm not mad at that. $100. 32.99 for a newsstand near mint. I don't know what the near mints go for on this book, but there's one that went for 3.25. But let's look at just this listings for Uncanny 239. That's a really bad scan. $1.28 from Canada. That might be a steal. Let's see. This one's signed by Chris Claremont. That's actually not bad. I wonder if you send this over to CGC, just have them press it. If you get a 9.8 out of that and get it authenticated by their new service. Oh, the notary seal expires 2025. I was like, oh, it's signed in the future. Wow, that's kind of intense getting a notary to. I mean, that looks like a signature too. It's a little bit shorter, but anyway. Well, that's your Uncanny X-Men 263 market report or current market rates. Not too bad. It hasn't really bumped up a ton from the best show on TV. I don't think it's the best show on TV, but that's argumentative. But very healthy. Let's go on to the next book. So Uncanny X-Men 333. This is the first appearance of Bastion. It's an awesome cover for an X-Men 97 villain. I don't know if this will play out. I think there's enough people that don't remember Bastion, and he hasn't been really talked about in mainstream, Marvel lore. But I do remember him kind of the tail end that I stopped reading comic books. He was kind of the last. He was the last character that I remember, or villain I remember from my previous run. Is Uncanny X-Men 97 the best show on TV? Nah, that's Shogun. Even though it just ended last week, which I was really super sad about, but it made sense. This book is definitely spiked. I know, like, you could probably find this in dollar bins for such a long time, but let's see what the market is saying about X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 333. So $15.95, that's not bad, for an older book, direct edition here. I think the cover's beautiful. If you're really digging the art from back then, like there were some great artists from back in the day. 5 days, I'm gonna be mad. Let's see the condition. Never mind. I'm not going for that. Let's see another newsstand edition. So this guy's got a 1508 buy it now. There's a crease on it. I'm probably not gonna pay that. Let's see here. And this is the first full appearance of Bastion. I think this is the one to gravitate towards. You could probably still find this in back issue pins. Okay, let's take a look. So 1188, $15, not too bad, not too shabby. $12 here. I don't see any CGC listed. 15. So not crazy, but I think there's definitely interest in the character. If you're just like, ooh, who the hell is that guy? Oh, here's one 9.2 went for 150. That's a lot. I remember that cover, X-Men 52. That's a great cover. Um, yeah, I think this will garner some interest into what exactly the character, you know, the origin of this character. But yeah, I'm not mad at that. That's a very healthy. Hasn't gone crazy at all yet. I mean, he just showed up in the last, like, kind of like the last episode or the last half hour of the episode. So there's not a lot of there's a lot to grow, and hopefully they keep going with this X-Men 97 goodness, man. It's a really good show if you guys aren't watching it. So some DC stuff, Spectre number 54. Mr. Terrific's always on my watch list to find. Very fine to very good goes for like 40 to $50. I don't know if that's just based on potential to get it, like bump it up to a 9.0, 9.2, but I think the way to go is just go for 9.0, 9.2 and just, if you're investing in this book, I'm not recommending to invest in this, but yeah, with all the MCU news, Spectre 54. Oops. Yeah, Spectre 54. With all the MCU news, obviously this book has got a little bit of a bump. James Gunn has announced that he's going to make Mr. Terrific. He's already been linked to Edie Gathegi. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But I mean, that's a sick set to get. These JSA covers were so good. And that'd be great to get an autograph on. I guess if you're a Mr. Terrific fan, like go for that JSA 76. That is sick. Let's see, nothing really crazy. So yeah, 9.8 go for 295. That's a lot lower than I've seen in the past. So coming down a little bit. And it's for April 7th, so that's about a month ago. Yeah, these books don't. Spectre 54 just doesn't really go on sale very often. 9.6 one for $100. That was a really good deal. So yeah, was it 9 point? I saw 9.2. Oh, 9.8. That was back in March though. Let's see what the current market is saying. Okay, 51.56 for a 9 point. Man, at that point, I just get a 9.6 and pay $100 for it. 9.8. This guy wants 380 for it. I mean, I remember seeing them go for 500 just based off the popularity of this character and the tough and high grade 9.8 to get in this character as well. So, there you have it, Spectre 54. If you guys are looking for it, 9.6s go for roughly 100 to $150. 9.8s go for upwards of 300, a little bit higher. But yeah, super tough book to get, super awesome cover, and a great first appearance. Ghost Rider 28. This was like the easiest, like 9.8 newsstand I've ever pressed. I've seen these go for 10 to 15 raw lately, and this kind of crept up on my radar because the Blade news is coming out, that there's a little bit of, traction with Blade coming out. So, obviously Blade's going to go up quite a bit, but yeah, Midnight Suns first team appearance in Midnight Suns Ghost Rider 28. The newsstand's kind of the way to go with this book, but yeah, let's take a look. Ghost Rider 28. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty standard. $10 for. I mean, I'd rather go for the 9.6 go for $40. Buying now is going for 90 for a 9.8, or even 74.85. So I think people just. I think, my opinion, I think a lot of people are just either graded this or just scooping this up in like, because man, this is like overprinted to the max, and they were kept in really good condition because of them being in a poly bag. I don't think people. I think people are just letting go of this book. I was. $13.50 for a 9.6. I know that feeling of selling super low. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, and I read this book just for fun, and it was not very enjoyable. So I guess yeah, it's a 9.8 or bust for this book. not really impressed. I guess I'll move on to the next one. All right, we're about 20 minutes into this short show. I try to keep these under an hour or so. But yeah, I just wanted to put out some, good market content for everyone to enjoy. And again, if you are liking this episode of the market report, please click that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. I'll keep putting content out. We get to 2,400 hours and views. I'll try and do a CGC giveaway of a 9.8 or a video game. We'll see, just depending on how many hours we get, and trying to get monetized. We're quite a ways away. We were having some pretty good momentum going into this year, but a couple shows kind of killed us. But nonetheless, we'll get into the next slide. So Sonic 98. Always going to talk about this book. It's on the later half of the Sonic run, not a lot of print. Archie Comics, read to death. First Shadow appearance. And man, this book just will not drop. It's funny. I never really looked into Sonic books during the pandemic, but I watched the movie and it was really, actually, I really liked it. And yeah, I mean, I'm not really, whoa. Oh, that's number 60. I was like, man, I'm gonna up it on that. But yeah, Shadow, he's an arch nemesis of Sonic the Hedgehog, and evidently me trying to buy this is an arch nemesis as well. $200 best offer. I'm not even gonna click on that. Yeah, the listings are crazy for this. Like new 350 for a 5.5 newsstand. It's not gonna happen with me. Oh wow, 9.8, 4 Gs. And I'm not shocked at that price point. First Shadow cover. I think that's the one to get if you're specking on Shadow personally. 8.5 newsstands going for $900. They might get that, man. I don't know. $500. Let's see if the actual market is saying for this book. So okay, so 135. That's not bad. Just not clicking on this. I mean, there's a little bit of color rub. I think for me in this book, since it's been so beat up and probably read, I'm only going to bid on something in 3 figures if there's very minimal. Like if there's a couple, if it's like 8.0, I'd bid $100 on it. But if there's like tears in this book, like nah, that's where I draw the line. It's not even worth it to me at that point. I don't care how many are printed. So 189. So this is a couple weeks ago. I mean, there hasn't been really crazy news. Oh man, how much did this guy? Wow, that's not bad for $60. Yeah, I'm not mad at that either. 135, that's a little too high for me in that condition. $100. Let's see what the highest is in the past so many years. So 349 for an 8.0. Wow. 7.5, so for 294. I mean, you can get 120 for this and flip it for 7.5. I mean, that's a nice payday. So anyway, you guys all know how much I love. Oh shoot, what the heck? Sorry. Yeah, 349 for an 8.0. But look at the 7.5 for 294. I mean, that's not bad. That's a good payday. If this is an 8.5, you're doubling your money there. You got to put some money down, but man, if you got a newsstand at 8.5, that's probably like a $500 book. But yeah, nonetheless, that is my favorite book that I have yet to attain. Sonic 98, first appearance of Shadow. Go for the newsstand. It's going to be beat up, but it might be the way to go if you're flipping it. If you're investing in it, I'd get a graded version of the direct edition. Just go from there. Spawn 174. Shout outs to all my Spawn lovers out there. Michael Baker, I always think of you when it comes to Spawn, so shout out to you. So yeah, first Gunslinger variant or Gunslinger Spawn. It's a beautiful cover. I'm just gonna say that outright. Lower print run. I forgot the exact amount of spawns in this book are, but yeah, let's look at the market real quick. So Spawn 174 sign. Ooh, that's a horrible picture, but the guy got $1,300 for it. I don't know about selling these as a set. because I don't know if people have enough money to bid these up higher than, what have you. I'd sell them individually personally. But I know like a lot of people like to sell these as a set. 9.8 for 750 seems like a pretty good deal. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. Oh, sweet. Okay. 727, 700. So you're looking at $700, 671. That was a pretty good deal back in February. 313 for a very nice cover. Now the question is, do you get the signed by Capullo or by Mr. Todd, the Todd father? He go for Capullo personally. Yeah, nothing really much to say about this book. There's no real like one. Oh shoot. There's no real like spec or like option spec. I don't think he's come out. So yeah, 7.5. Ooh, I don't know about that. Near mint 9.8. I mean, that's pretty, from what we were looking at earlier, that's pretty doable or pretty close to market. 539. I'd rather just pay the extra $200 and get a 9.8. And I personally think this cover's cooler. However, teach his own. First appearances are always nice too. Either one you go with. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Spawn 174, the first Gunslinger Spawn, and on to the next book. Changing up a little bit, Stormwatch 37, the first appearance of Jack Hawksmoor, Jenny Sparks, and Rose Tattoo. For me, it's the appearance of Jenny Sparks in this book. Goes for a healthy $20 to $30. Authority is probably one of my favorite team books from Marvel back in the day. Just because it was just different. It was a different type of book to get. It was a really rich story, and they passed the baton on issue 13 of the Authority very well. That's one of my favorite reads of all time. This is pretty cool. Lot 32 Wildstorm. I sold my run for $200. $50, 35. Not bad. Let's look at solds. All right, $20 healthy, $22.50. I don't think you're going to be able to really flip this book unless you get it in really high grade. But I mean, that's if you can sit on this and wait for more news to come out. $22.50 is not bad, and it's 3 first appearances. It's not just one. So I'm curious of this grade. I don't think that's very fine near mint, but that's just me. All right, Stormwatch 37, first appearance of those three, and more importantly, Jenny Sparks. For you video game Xbox heads, Halo, the graphic novel, is going to summarize or end our show today. Again, I want to thank everyone that is supporting the channel. Fedora, myself, and Pickles are really happy to keep bringing you guys content. But the Halo graphic novel, let's take a look here. I don't know the rarity of this book, but it's one of the first books that I've seen as like, you can grade this book. And this is crazy. 9.8s go for $499. People in the chat, if you could, or not the chat, but on the on like the messages, if you guys could give me some more info on this book, I'd really appreciate it. That's just crazy to me. I mean, it's just a graphic novel. It must be really hard to get in high grade, but let's take a look here. Yeah, $5.99 for the raw. Hasn't been that many CGCs, I guess. I mean, I guess pick it up at your local Barnes and Noble and try and get it. CGC 9.8, it is, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's the flip. I don't know. There's a 9.9 out there. Anyway, 1055. Okay, maybe don't do that because then, okay. Then what's the difference with this one? Oh, it's the preview. Okay. Halo graphic novel preview. That's the one I was looking at. That's the rare one. That's the one you can't just buy on the newsstands. Okay, that was kind of a bad way to end the show, but it's we'll end the show that way. I just want to thank everyone again for liking and subscribing to our show. If you like this video, let me know, and I'll keep doing shows like this every Monday. If you guys have any questions or any requests on what books to look at, I'm more than happy to put that out there as well. It's not so much for me; it's for the people. Don't forget to do this before you leave. And I'll see you guys this Sunday. We will not have Fedora in the show. We may have a special guest. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.